Welcome back to the Innergize Leadership Huddle, a series of elevated conversations between me, Stacy Sobel at Salon today, and Sudheer Koneru, the CEO of Zenoti. Welcome back, Sudheer.
Thanks, Stacy. Glad to be here.
In our first conversation, we shared some enlightening insights from your benchmark study, and we talked about how Zenoti gives back to the industry with knowledge at its event Innergize, and we started to talk a little bit about AI, including Zenoti's AI first philosophy. And we all know we're kind of on this cusp of a big dramatic technology change with AI. And for a lot of people, it can be both exhilarating and a little intimidating. Everyone is definitely talking about it, though, and forward-thinking businesses are just starting to begin to adopt it. What is your whole perspective on artificial intelligence?
Yeah, thanks, Stacy, for that. And, so I think here and now today, if you think about it, things like internet and our mobile phones, we just can't even imagine life without it. I can't go around life without my phone anymore. It's so integral. Of course, AI has been an esoteric development for geeks, but today it is starting to enter our daily lives. It is early stages, but time will come where you won't be able to imagine life without AI too. But today it's different. Today, that's not the case. And so businesses which actually invest in AI can be more competitive, more nimbler, outperform the local markets if they embrace AI here and now. So it does become a competitive advantage. Today having a mobile phone is not a competitive advantage, or mobile apps. It is, but
almost the whole world has it. Yeah.
Yeah, but I do think AI has that, and that's why AI has been a big focus for us at Zenoti, and saying how do we apply it to the industry, right? Now, for our industry is a very personal industry. It's all about touch and personal care. So people would wonder, hey, what is AI going to do for us? Of course, it's not going to replace people. It is. So AI's goal has to be, and the way we think of it is, how do we get the most out of AI to get the best out of people? So any task in the systems that we do every day, we think of it and say, can AI do this? If AI can do this, we say, hey, why don't we give first crack to AI? And if we don't like what AI does, people are still in control. So that's our fundamental approach, saying, give first crack to AI, and people are still in control. And we call this like the AI first approach. So whether it's, let's say, you're setting up a schedule for next week for employees, maybe AI is going to define the schedule for you. And if you don't like it, you can always go edit it. If you're trying to decide how much product to order every month, AI will be good at such things because it knows your patterns, seasonal stuff, everything. And if the traffic has increased from last year, June, to this year, June, how should I place that order, etc. So I think you'll start relying on AI for many things, in my opinion. But the fundamental approach is people still are very much in control. It's just that AI becomes a tool which helps you accelerate, overall.
Poking around your website a little bit, looking at some of the AI offerings you're starting to implement. And I like the point that you made. AI tackles some of those tasks so that people can get back to doing what they do best, which is the personal and human touch that is so integral to the beauty business. Yeah. So I thought that was a really, really interesting point. Now, ChatGPT is probably the most common AI platform that most people have experimented with. But how is Zenoti starting to put the power of AI into the hands of salon managers and the front desk team?
Yeah, so see, of course, you're very right. ChatGPT is something which many of our customers I see, they're already using it. They use it to create some mailers and things like that, but it's still outside the realm of their day-to-day software. But in Zenoti today, when it comes to things like front desk and managers, AI is literally everywhere. It's like, if you want to change your business hours, you don't go looking for a setting, click someplace and say, you tell your Zini, like a co-pilot, an assistant in Zenoti, saying, hey, Zini, I want to change my, business hours for 4th of July. And here's what it is. And it's going to go updated for you, right? So you don't need to go navigate. So the whole paradigm of saying, is this software easy to use? Is the user experience nice? Will start becoming less and less relevant over time when you are able to do everything by asking an assistant like Zini and say, I think we have a, let's say a deposit fee for all bookings, and I want to change the deposit fee. Or those kinds of things are very easy to do. Or even if front desk said they had an invoice and a customer was calling them saying, hey, you charged me for this product, and I don't think this charge is correct. They can say, hey, can you pull up John's invoice from June 14th with a product on it, with a shampoo on it. And AI will just pull up the invoice right in front of them. They don't need to go saying, oh, wait a second, I have to clunk around and find John's profile, find his last thing, etc. So AI is going to start getting smarter and smarter for the front desk people to not just do their tasks in the fashion I said, but even around, like, what we do is we say, now if there's a brand which has their own internal training, internal collateral around how they train people around whether it's processes inside the store, skill sets, or even business functions, like how do you onboard a new employee? How do you offboard someone? How do you deal with the customer complaint? All of that can be integrated so that when you talk to Zini, you're not just talking to Zini about Zenoti. You're just talking to Zini about anything about the business. And Zini can answer, saying, oh, yeah, if you have a customer complaint, here's the best practice. Here's what you to follow. If it's about the hair not being set right, and all that. So we have really made Zini like this tool, and people find it, of course, it's still early stages. They find it amusing and funny, but it is there, and we keep monitoring what all they ask Zini, and what are they looking for, the front desk people. So it's early stages, but you'll see such assistants take over the front desk.
I certainly need Zini by my side. That would be great.
Yeah.
What I think is really important about that is we've heard for years that most owners and people at the front desk are only tapping into a percentage of what their software is capable of doing. And it's just because they don't necessarily know that it has some of the capabilities that it does. And now if you have a task that you've never dealt with before, you can ask it, can you help me do this? And you might be learning how to use your software that was there to support you all the time, but you didn't know how to implement those things.
Very good point. Absolutely. Yes.
So that's about the front desk and the managers. It also can play a really relevant role for owners and other elevated positions like CFOs. What are some tasks that you see AI tackling for those types of positions?
Yeah, so for CFOs and owners, let's break that down a bit, right? For CFOs, mostly they're always about analyzing their business, and we have so many clients. It's I can tell you how many different ways CFOs want to look at data is amazing, right? Everybody has a different viewpoint on reports and how they want to analyze. So it's been a journey trying to build all kinds of rich reporting capabilities so that CFOs are happy. But today with AI, you don't need a lot of that. The CFO just goes to AI and says, hey, I want to know what's happening with this particular product because suddenly I'm spending too much money on this product, or whatever their question is. And AI can actually answer the question they have versus them thinking, because I run into these questions, I need to now come up with a new report format, then go to my analytics team and tell them, hey, guys, I need you to build this new report. I think those days will be gone because you can just ask an AI assistant saying, hey, this is the insight I'm looking for. And what we are finding is in the adoption with our customers, they're super excited about it because they are able to ask exactly what they want. And Zini actually figures out the answer based on having access to the whole data of their business. So that's something very insightful. The second is also for owners, customer engagement is a big deal, making sure when you have a larger and larger business, more and more stores, are we answering all our questions effectively? Are we making sure every call and every appointment is booked correctly, etc.? And so AI now analyzes all calls across all centers, and then it can flag off. And every day owners get an email saying, here are 4 calls we think which didn't go well. Here's the synopsis of what the customer was trying to do. And here's where we think it fell short, your front desk and your staff. And so now it becomes an easy coaching opportunity for owners to call the front desk and say, hey, let's talk about how we could do these things a little better, kind of stuff. And so AI is always helping, and even front desk people like it that, hey, I didn't realize I could do a better job. And so it's like super helpful in doing that. So some of those examples in terms of brief, but AI will continue to expand more for owners and managers in terms of both driving their costs down because, things like front desk get more efficient. Even actually, AI will, if you miss a call, you would envision an AI agent takes over the call. So people don't need to fret too much about missed calls anymore. And it may help them manage costs a little better in stores.
I love the idea of it helping you coach your team because it's virtually impossible for an owner to overhear every conversation that someone in
Yes.
their salon has with a guest. But now you can, like you said, coach. It's a coaching opportunity. And for the team member as well, sometimes you get a complicated question and you don't know how to tackle it. So here's a suggestion of how to do that better.
Yeah. And it's not threatening because it's a win-win for both, the employee and that. And coaching is a big deal in all salons. How do you coach staff in the most efficient way? So yeah.
Finally, how can interested viewers learn more about the AI and the solutions that Zenoti is bringing in?
Yeah. So one is, of course, our website, and we have a lot of video and content. We have a page dedicated to AI first, and that's a good resource for people to go read up about what might unfold in AI over time as well, not just at Zenoti, but the industry. The other one, which would be very useful, is we have this upcoming conference called Innergize, which is in Las Vegas, October 13th and 14th. A lot of the focus of that event is around AI. And it is not about Zenoti talking about AI. It's about everybody else talking about how is front desk using AI today. And 4 different brands stand up and talk about how that's helping them and what's going on. How are, finance CFOs getting benefit out of AI? So they're going to hear from firsthand experiences of brands and leaders, whether it's real or it's still early. You get the real story from real people who are actually trying to use AI. And that's probably the best education way to get educated on, is this for real kind of stuff. But I do believe, as I said earlier, people who adopt these things early have the competitive advantage. So attending places like Innergize, hearing people like leaders is definitely very valuable. And at the same event, by the way, we do have it's kind of related to AI, whatever. We have this format called Deep End. So firstly, we are having Lori Greiner, who's from the Shark Tank show, as our keynote speaker at the event overall. And since she's a keynote speaker, we are also having a format called Deep End, which is similar to Shark Tank, wherein you would have people pitch, and there are brands which will be pitching, saying why they are the most scalable brand, why they can grow franchise, etc. And a bunch of brands will be pitching. The top winner is going to get $50,000 from Zenoti, and the second one is going to get $25,000 from Zenoti, money which hopefully helps them to figure out their franchising plan and launch their brand in a more larger way. And we do think those who embrace AI as they plan these growth things are going to see their growth to be much more accelerated. So,
Love that you're doing that. And Lori will be a great addition to your lineup. And I love that whole Shark Tank-esque competition. So
yes.
it'd be interesting to see who wins.
Yes, and we'll have a whole bunch of brands pitching for it, and it'll be a fun event because doing it live, real time, is going to be even more fun. So people get to see, and the real learning for everyone who attends is the panel of people who are going to be evaluating this. The questions they ask of each guy is where the insight lies, saying, okay, how are you going to do this? How are you going to scale this marketing part, or whatever. So that's how I think people learn. Otherwise, normally you can do a theoretical exercise saying, how do you franchise your brand? Rather than that, we are doing it this way to say, see real examples, real challenges, and questions from leaders who have done it successfully. Yeah.
I think that's so important. And you do what we do at Innergize. You do what we do with Salon Today all the time, is try to encourage that peer-to-peer learning, because there's no one better to give you examples of how things like AI can work in your own business than someone else who's walking in your shoes and facing the same kind of challenges with staff and customers every day. So,
Agree.
and to hear things that people are leveraging now, and how you can accelerate your growth. is
Yeah.
really valuable.
And that's how we think of Innergize. It's an industry by the people in the industry for the industry. It's not a Zenoti conference. That's why we call it Innergize. So, yeah.
And to that point, you do, it's not just for Zenoti customers, it's for anybody in the industry that's interested in learning more about growth and learning from some of their peers. And you've got a special gift for our viewers. It's a $300 discount code for it's Salon Today EB. That stands for early bird. So Salon Today EB. And if they enter that in, they get $300 off their ticket. And where do they go to learn more about Innergize and leverage this opportunity?
Yeah, and yeah, we are very happy to extend that code. And it's, as you said, it's for everyone in the industry. It's not about Zenoti at all, because Zenoti's customers. But the place to go is the website is innergize.me, inner, I-N-N, Innergize, like Energize, innergize.me. So Innergize Me is the website, and all the information should be there. Of course, you can also find Innergize Me link on Zenoti's site as well.
And you've done a good job already of encapsulating who's talking, because I know from running our own event data room, it's very hard sometimes to get all that up on the website, but
Yes.
you've got an impressive lineup.
Yeah, and you will hear from some of the best brands, leaders of whether it's European Wax or Hand and Stone, or in the med spa category, Merlin, who runs Dermapure, some of the fastest growing brands. So it's all the right caliber of leaders who are coming together, and even brands which are early stage but seeing dynamic growth in the industry, whether it's from the UK or the US. You'll see all of them at the event. Yeah.
Well, thank you, Sudheer, so much. And I do encourage everybody also to visit your site, because you have some great videos on there that kind of takes them deeper into that AI experience and how it can actually work. And sometimes seeing the videos brings it to life. It's really helpful.